I was rinsing a cup when my phone rang. It was my brother, Samir. He rarely called without texting first, so I wiped my hands on a towel and answered. "Is your wife home?" he asked. The question felt ordinary enough. "Yeah," I said, glancing toward the kitchen doorway where soft metal sounds echoed, the familiar rhythm of spoons touching ceramic. "She's in the kitchen." There was a pause. "Not the casual kind. The kind that carries weight." "That's impossible," Samir whispered. "She just boarded my flight, with another man." For a moment, I thought I misheard him. Or that he was joking in some strange way I couldn't decode. "What flight?" I asked. "The Karachi to Dubai flight. I'm on the plane now. Boarding just finished." "I saw her." "I'm sure it was her." The cup slipped slightly in my hand, but I didn't drop it. The house still smelled like cumin and fried onions. The ceiling fan hummed above me. Everything felt stubbornly normal. "You're mistaken," I said, though the words felt rehearsed before they left my mouth. "I wish I was," Samir replied. She was sitting 3 rows ahead. Window seat. Blue shawl. That small scar near her eyebrow. My eyes drifted back to the kitchen. The sounds had stopped. "Hold on," I said quietly. I walked toward the doorway with the careful steps of someone approaching a sleeping animal. The kitchen light was on. The stove flame flickered low. A pot simmered. But she wasn't there. At first, my mind searched for ordinary explanations: bathroom, backyard, answering a call. The absence itself didn't frighten me. It was the silence surrounding it. A silence that felt recently disturbed. I picked up my phone again. "She's not in the kitchen," I said. Samir exhaled, slow and heavy. "I'm sorry." We stayed on the call without speaking. Somewhere beyond the phone, flight attendants were giving instructions. Somewhere inside my house, water bubbled in a pot she had left behind. "Are you sure?" I asked after a while. I wouldn't have called otherwise. I ended the call and stood there, letting the moment settle instead of rushing past it. Panic felt available, like a door I could open anytime. But I didn't. Instead, memories began rearranging themselves. Her recent gym membership she rarely mentioned. The sudden interest in traveling alone. Evenings when she claimed exhaustion but stayed awake texting beside me, the screen angled away. None of it had been suspicious alone. Together, they formed a faint outline I had politely ignored. I checked the bedroom. Her wardrobe was intact, but the small black suitcase was gone. Not missing in a dramatic way. Just absent. I sat on the edge of the bed and tried to reconstruct the day. She had left in the afternoon saying she needed groceries. She kissed my cheek before leaving, brief, practiced, almost efficient. I picked up her pillow. It still held the faint scent of jasmine oil. My phone buzzed. A message from Samir. I took a photo from behind. Sending. The image arrived. It was slightly blurred, taken between airplane seats. A woman in a blue shawl leaned toward the aisle, speaking to someone beside her. The angle hid her face, but posture has a signature. The tilt of her head. The way she crossed her ankles. Recognition doesn't always need clarity. I placed the phone face down. The house felt larger now, like a set after filming ended. I returned to the kitchen and turned off the stove. The food had overcooked slightly, thickening at the edges. I stirred it anyway, not out of hunger but habit. Then I noticed something small. Her phone charger was still plugged into the wall. She never traveled without it. I walked back to the bedroom and opened the bedside drawer. Inside lay her old phone, the one she claimed stopped working months ago. I pressed the power button. The screen lit up. It wasn't broken. Notifications stacked across the lock screen, silent witnesses waiting for acknowledgement. Airline confirmations. Hotel bookings. Messages from a contact saved only as R. I didn't open them immediately. Instead, I sat there holding the phone, feeling an unexpected calm spread through me. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was administrative. Scheduled. Booked. Confirmed. That realization hurt in a quiet, durable way. Hours passed without me noticing. Night settled outside. Samir sent a final message after takeoff, "I'm here if you need me." I didn't reply. Around midnight, her WhatsApp profile photo changed. A picture of the sky from an airplane window. No caption. I stared at it for a long time, wondering how many versions of her existed simultaneously. The one who cooked dinner. The one who boarded flights. The one who answered my questions with steady eyes. I thought about calling her. Instead, I made tea. Steam curled upward as I leaned against the counter. My reflection in the microwave door looked unfamiliar, not devastated, not angry. Just adjusting. Trust doesn't shatter like glass. It erodes like stone underwater. You notice the shape change only after years. Near dawn, my phone rang. Her name. I let it ring once more before answering. "Hi," she said, her voice carrying the faint echo of an airport corridor. "Hi." Silence stretched between us, dense but not hostile. "You know," she said eventually. "Yes." Another pause. "I was going to tell you." "When?" She didn't answer. "What is this?" I asked, not accusing, just asking. Her explanation arrived in fragments: a business opportunity, a partnership, someone who understood ambitions she felt I dismissed. Emotional distance that had grown quietly. Decisions that began practical and became personal. None of it sounded theatrical. That made it harder to reject. "You built another life," I said. I didn't mean to. But intentions don't undo architecture. "I'm not angry," I admitted, surprising myself with the truth. "I'm just finished pretending I understand us." Her breathing softened, almost relieved. "I'm sorry," she said. "I know." We didn't argue. We didn't negotiate. The conversation ended like a meeting that had reached its natural conclusion. After the call, the house felt less like a stage and more like a space returning to neutrality. Days later, her belongings left gradually. Couriers collected boxes. Documents were signed. Conversations remained polite, almost gentle. People asked what happened. I offered simplified answers. At night, I sometimes replayed the moment Samir called, that split second where two realities collided. I realized now it wasn't the discovery that changed me. It was my response to it. I hadn't chased. Hadn't pleaded. Hadn't performed pain. I had simply witnessed. One evening, weeks later, I cooked the same dish she left simmering that night. The aroma filled the kitchen again, familiar but no longer shared. I tasted it. Slightly too salty. I ate it anyway, standing by the counter, watching steam rise into empty space that didn't feel empty anymore, just quiet. Somewhere above the city, planes continued departing, carrying people toward versions of themselves they believed were waiting. I washed the dishes slowly, turned off the lights, and stood for a moment in the doorway of the kitchen. Not victorious. Not healed. But unmistakably aware that the life I was living now belonged to only one person. And for the first time in a long while, that felt like enough.